it's been a long time coming. I've been calling for the fight. I've been asking for the fight. For whatever reason, it didn't happen, but he took the bait, and now July 29th, we got the fight, and I'm gonna get him to the bank.
Undefeated, undisputed, unprecedented. When you're talking about the welterweight division, there's only two men you're talking about.
This is the one fight more than any other fight I want to see in boxing.
And those two men are putting their records and titles on the line, finally going to war.
Understand that you can fight this guy over here that has no chance of beating you for 10 million. But go on and fight them big dogs for 20 million.
We're talking about making history.
This is it. We're gonna settle it now.
Because the winner of this fight is going to be coming home with not one, not two, but 4 belts as the unified welterweight champion.
Try that body shot, man. Stop you. That shit gonna be easy work, I promise you. It don't matter, I'm gonna knock you out, bro.
It's been a long, long time coming.
I'm gonna have to take that.
And this clash is one I couldn't miss. This fight's gonna be a true clash of styles as Errol Spence Jr. comes to blow with Terence Crawford in order to prove who is the best welterweight of the decade.
Either one of them fighting anybody else will tell us more about what's going to happen when they fight each other.
There's nothing better to look forward to than a fight between two undefeated champs who's gonna come home a champion and icon for their era. This July in Paradise, Nevada, we're gonna find out.
You know, I feel like I'm gonna break him. You know, he said he gonna reel me in and bring me to the bank. So we definitely gonna see. I don't think he can reel me in. I don't think nobody got a big enough fishing pole to reel me in.
Errol Spence Jr. has been dominating the welterweight division since he started his pro career.
Yeah, but Stephen A, it's about how Errol Spence is not afraid to stand in that paint. He's going to stand toe to toe and stand with you in the trench.
He's an aggressive and effective pressure fighter. His by-the-book mentality, an incredible volume of punches, proved to be too much for his opponents to handle.
I think the experience that Errol had in the ring against me made him better. And then, of course, the experiences that he's had out of the ring has made him better as well.
Most of his fights, Spence is the bigger guy with a size difference over his opponents. He's able to bully them with force, not just skill. He's tight and efficient, his pitcher-perfect offense works to also shut down any punches from the opponents. His first belt was in 2012, where he earned his first victory in his first knockout. Since then, he's been on a tear. By 2015, he was ESPN's Prospect of the Year. By 2016, he was the first person to stop Chris Algieri. By 2017, he had earned his title shots. The time came for Spence to fight reigning IBF welterweight champion Kell Brook on May 17th of 2017. The fight was a slugfest. Spence and Brook were putting everything on a line to wear each other down. In the 11th round, Brook could no longer see out of his left eye. He took a knee and then get back up.
IBF welterweight champion of the world.
Definitely, this is a legacy final fight. That's what two champions do. He came to America and took the title, so I came over here to take the title from him. But he's a true champion. I wanted to fight the champion, and Kell Brook gave me the opportunity, and I thank him for that.
After a string of successful total defenses and especially brutal mauling of Mikey Garcia,
that's what the fuck he's doing fighting Errol Spence, bro.
Spence set his sights on the new belts and the new champion. Porter was a pressure fighter too, but instead of technical skill, he relied on his strength and stamina to do the heavy lifting.
You know, I'm not gonna talk about you like you're not right here. You know this is not easier than Mikey Garcia. You know this ain't gonna be no wash. You know you're gonna have to get ready, and I will be.
Expensive Porter duked it out in a high-aggression match where the two fought each other relentlessly. It was hard to see where the advantage, as both Spence and Porter seemed to switch for the upper hand minute to minute in the 11th round. Spence scored the only knockdown of the fight when Porter's glove touched a canvas. After a blistering 12th round, Spence had nearly won his unification title.
I was able to, break him down and outwill the so-called toughest guy in the division.
Things weren't up and up for Spence.
Looking to come back real soon, early 2020, hopefully in January or February.
Until just a month later,
Violent crash overnight as a Ferrari flipped on a Dallas street.
In that car, Spence was ejected from his car. During a drunk driving incident and sustained a number of injuries, he ended up in the intensive care unit after the crash.
That's the craziest story of the year. When you see that car flip like that and the fact that he got out of it with like a chipped tooth.
I don't remember the night of the crash or 3 weeks after the
Well, it was in doubt if Spence was ever going to be in winning condition ever again.
It's a miracle for me to survive, and a year later, have a fight coming up and been fighting in my hometown. I feel like this is a second chance for me, and I can't let it go.
Errol Spence Jr. miraculously managed to recover from his car crash without any serious injuries, yet his first fight since his car crashed, to see if he was still able to perform. Not only did he show he can still do it, he bettered Danny Garcia with complete control. Right after Spence had another scare, one that has ended the grill hundreds of boxes before him, a retinal tear. Just like his health scare, Spence seemed to bounce it off with no problem, but the surgery cost him a fight against someone he'd been looking forward to meeting for a long time. Manny Pacquiao, with his eye being medically cleared, Spence set his sight on his third belt, this time against
Champion Jordanis.
Boogies was coming off a major win against 8th Division living legend Manny Pacquiao until his eye injury bowed him out. Speaking of eye injury, Spence was able to get the fight stopped on account of Boogie's eyes swelling up like a balloon. He put on another dominant performance to show that any medical issues he might have had weren't going to hold him back. Spence had his third belt. However, this challenge would be his hardest yet. While Spence was recovering from his injuries from his car crash, another fighter was on a dominant reign at welterweight. Terence Crawford started his welterweight career by becoming a 3-division world champion. Not bad for a career starter.
Terence Crawford just figures people out. He finds a way.
This shouldn't be a surprise after all. His last fight before moving up in weight was his unification of all 4 light welterweight titles in 2017. What makes Terence Crawford dangerous is his stellar movement and incredible knockout power. He's considered pound for pound the best for a reason, especially at welter. He is a monster.
He approached that shit, he don't see none of them guys. He don't care nothing about none of them guys. He got that real dog in him. That's why I say he reminds me of me. You feel me? And I just think the man can do so much in it.
Crawford has not seen a decision in his fight since his win over Victor Postal in 2016. Every other fight since, Crawford has put them down or made them quit. His power is mixed in with his clever movement and fight IQ. He had already shown he was a monster at the lighter weight classes. With his first victory at welterweight, he was ready to show that he was a monster in this one, too. Since Crawford moved up to 147, the question on everyone's mind was when he and Spence would meet.
Him and Crawford. God, what a fight that would be.
What the hell took this fight so long to happen? We've been waiting years for this.
Great things take time. We both were going through, negotiations and things, but we here now. So all this stuff in the past, just the present, we here, we fighting each other. This is the fight of the decade.
It seemed inevitable that the 2 best world towweights would be meeting up for a final unification match. Fans have been begging for it, and most importantly, the 2 fighters finally realized it was time to make it happen.
The fight I wanted, so I stuck to my guns and was like, I'm not fighting until I fight Terence Crawford, so my team got it going.
So now, he got to live up to his word and coming to take this belt. The last one is always the hardest one, and I assure you, it won't be like none of the other fights.
This matchup is going to be a night to remember. 2 greats are putting everything they have in the ring. When the 2 finally clash on July 29th, it'll be a fight about who can employ their game plan for the longest.
Hey man, fish fillet. We're gonna roll him over, smoke him, man.
We go hunting over here. And
like I said, we're gonna roll him up and smoke him.
I hope you enjoyed this video, but for now, gotta bounce. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.